All right, ladies. So Elaine and I wanted to come together and do this joint call for multiple reasons. One, we're in this intimate group together. We're all working towards a goal, and we want to just kind of see everybody together and kind of build this synergy that we have as we work towards hitting a goal that's very important to all of you. The subject matter for tonight, and we're going to touch on several things. There was a purpose behind me asking what your why was, because I really want that to be at the forefront of your mind while we're talking about all of this. We all have deeper whys than just saying, I want to help people. And reading your responses is proof of that. Helping people is great, and that is what we are here for. But there's bigger reasons why you show up every day. Why, when it's hard, you still do what you're supposed to do. And the why that you define by sharing it, that is what has to drive you. And that is what you have to stay connected with and focused on, no matter whether it's a great day or it's a really rough day. If building a business was easy, then everybody would be doing this. And we hear that all the time, and it's the truth. It's not going to always be easy. It's not going to be fast. It's going to have bumps in the road. And honestly, where the rubber meets the road is how you deal with the bumps. And if you can stay true and focused to what really matters to you. So that was really why I wanted to ask that so quickly before this call, because I want that to be at the forefront of your mind. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about sharing the coaching opportunity, comparing to other people, and then we're going to touch a little bit on follow-up as well. I know that Elaine's team talked about follow-up last week, but there's a few other things that we want to kind of touch on based on that. So obviously, when I read these responses to your whys, I see big reasons. A lot of you have financial reasons that you need this to succeed. A lot of you have reasons that you want it to, like you want it to succeed financially, to make your family life better than it already is. You want to have that achievement of knowing that you started a business, you built a business, and no matter how hard it was or how long it took, at the end of the day, you have something amazing to show for it. All of us are faith-based. All of us believe in God and his timing and his divine intervention on what is supposed to be happening in our life. And that is huge, because he's what's going to help us, or who's going to help us get through, and who's going to help us, tackle the hurdles and overcome our fears and get out of our comfort zone. None of that is easy, but every time you do it, it gets easier, and it will be so rewarding, as it is every time you do it, every time you come out of your comfort zone, whatever it is. For me, when I first started coaching, I wasn't even on Facebook. I was a stalker. I had an account, but I didn't ever post anything about Facebook at all, nothing about my family, nothing. And I became a coach, and I had to learn how to do this, and it was totally out of my comfort zone. But I've gotten a whole lot better. I'm not perfect. I still make mistakes, but that's okay. That's part of it. And I don't expect to be perfect, and I don't want to be perfect. But it's really being able to face the things that we're afraid of, because we're making our main driving force be why we're here. We love our community, right? We have accountability. We make great friends in this business, people we can look to who are like-minded and positive and running the same race we are, but not at the same speed necessarily. So that's the thing you have to remember. You're running your own marathon. Your own, and I say marathon because I heard something today, and I wanted to share this with y'all because I thought it was really great. And I kind of am jumping around, so it's just coming out. So this is what we're going to do. But when we see a coach who has been in the business not very long and things are just soaring, right? And see from our side looking in, we are like, man, she's killing it. How is she getting this so fast? And how is she finding people to go to Diamond so fast and grow their team so fast and all this other stuff? How is that happening? And then we fall into the trap of, well, dang it, why is that not happening for me? Why can I not have that same success? Why is everything so much harder for me? Here's what I want to say about that. Even the ladies who have their business take off really, really, really fast, they still have struggles. For whatever reason, their business took off super fast. It might simply be because they spend 80 hours a week working. It might be because the cards that they were dealt and the people that they connected with initially just were totally on board and ready to rock. There's all kinds of things we don't know, okay? Getting into this comparison game of watching other people succeed fast while you feel like you're a turtle and it's not happening as fast, it's devastatingly, it'll destroy your business, period. It'll destroy your psyche. It'll destroy your confidence, because you cannot compare yourself to other people. And people who, Elaine and I were talking about this before we started the call, people who succeed quickly, one of the struggles that they have that I bet none of you have ever thought of, because I haven't thought of it until today, is when they sign up new coaches, what do you think those new coaches expect? Those new coaches have watched her fly to the moon super fast. So when they sign up under her, they expect that to happen for them. They don't expect it to be hard. They don't expect there to be work involved. But they have no idea how much work she's put in, okay, to get where she got that fast. So they sign up, things don't come easy, and 30 days later they're like, I'm out. This is not for me. This is too tough. So they deal with that expectation, okay? Slow and steady isn't a bad place to be. It's frustrating at times. I understand that. Elaine and I are right there with y'all. We're not telling you something we don't live out day in and day out. We understand. But one thing I will say is, think about it from the perspective of when you do reach your goals and you have this amazing, thriving business that you're working so hard for every single day, and it took you a while to get there. Number one, that's a testimony of your staying power, your drive, your focus, how important it is to you. And when you sign up new coaches, you can say, look, I'm not going to tell you it's easy, but I will tell you it's worth it. There will be bumps in the road, and you have a choice when those bumps happen. You either figure out a way to power over them and learn from them, or you let them get the best of you. And that is how you have to think of it too. We all have to think of it that way. I mean, I've had a bad week this week. I just haven't been with it. I haven't felt really good. I haven't been my normal, positive, upbeat self, and it's been kind of hard. Last week I was on top of the moon, or top of the world. So I don't know. I mean, why one week versus another? Do you feel that way? I don't know. But I'm still showing up, okay? Because I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe in my purpose and my why. And I will not take no for an answer on what I know my life can be. Elaine, what do you want to add to that?
I'm trying to sort through all the personal development I've been doing this week. When I have moments in my journey as a coach that are, more challenging, that's where I turn, is personal development. And I was telling Christy today that one that I stumbled upon was about positivity. And I'm a big proponent of positivity. You'll never see anything negative on my Facebook, but reminding myself of how important this is and the power that we have in here, and how that can be conveyed out to the world, as simply as face-to-face or in our social media platform. That keeps me level-headed and it helps me to get back in this saddle right here and get back to work. Another simple something that I keep reminding myself is, I want this to work, and I've seen it, definitely progress. And I know that for me to go out and replace the income that I've worked so hard to build, I would probably have to have a full-time job, and it would be very low in pay, more than 40 hours a week. And I have to recognize, like, God, I am so grateful that I can be here, that I am not working full-time hours, and I can turn it off when my kids are home. And so I have to count the blessings, and every time they trump the negative. So I encourage you to be, in that mindset when you get frustrated, when you get, when you're following up and you get 6 no's, to be reminded, like, but wait a minute. Okay, one, I got that person to make a decision so I could move on. And at the same time, count that a victory, because you have gone through the process. You're moving on to the next person. We were talking today about celebrating even the no's, because that shows that you're getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. And we've talked about that a lot. And the more you do that, the more it becomes natural, and I know with Joy and Katie, I can speak to you because you both have shared a couple times this week regarding getting objections or getting through that list and getting no's. So, I can identify with that, but I want to encourage you that with that, you're getting stronger. You've asked, you didn't leave it out there wondering what they, were thinking, or if they were going to reject you. You asked, you offered what you have. You got to keep on doing it. Got to keep on getting back in the saddle. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And on the follow-up part of it, something that another spin on it that maybe none of you have thought of, because again, I haven't thought of it this way until today. When you're prospecting and you are reaching out to people and they're skeptical, or they're not quick to really buy into what you're talking about, or they give you all kinds of objections, step back for a minute and give them a little bit of grace. And what I mean by that is, of course, they're skeptical. Think about how many network marketing businesses, fitness related or otherwise, are out there right now. Mm-hmm. And think about how many times you'll see somebody jump all in, and then 60 days later, they're not even doing that anymore. So, I was skeptical. I will be flat honest. When I first heard about coaching, I was like, I remember telling my husband, I might become a discount coach. And he's like, what? Why? I'm like, well, get the discount on what I'm already drinking. And it's, and then I went a couple days later and I said, hey, I'm going to become a coach. And he's like, why would you want to do that? Like, that just doesn't sound like that was what we both thought. Like, what kind of scheme is this? I was that skeptic, okay?
Yeah, me too.
You have to realize the people that you're talking to very well have that same mindset that I did, that Elaine did, and that maybe many of you did. So give them some grace. Realize that if you show that you have staying power, and that may take them seeing you do it for 2 years for some people, 3 years. It may not be a quick 30-day fix, but that's why you keep talking to other people and other people. But I don't want y'all to allow the no's or the objections or the skepticism to get the best of you. When you ask somebody their goals and they tell you, I am on the verge of being a diabetic, I need to lose 80 pounds, I'm about to start having to take medicine I don't want to have to take. And you're thinking, well, my goodness, I'm reading the scenario and I can totally help her. And then you go through all of it with her. You share everything that you've got. You show her different options for workout programs. You get down to price, and all of a sudden, she's not worth the $140 in her brain, whether she flat out can't do it or she's just not willing to make the sacrifice that needs to happen to get her there. That is on her. That is not on you. Y'all cannot wear that weight on your shoulders about what your prospects decide. You cannot let it frustrate you to a point of derailing you or changing your focus. You cannot let it be a self-reflection on the kind of person you are, the kind of coach you are, how you could or couldn't help someone. It has absolutely nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want any of you to take ownership of that negative, not negative, but that decision that they've made. It's about them. And they say no today, and they might be the first to say yes in 2 months, which is why the follow-up is important, which is why continuing to show you care for these people and you want to reach out and go, how are you doing? I know you're pre-diabetic. How are you doing? That's it. Not, I'm starting a new challenge group. I want to invite you. Just how are you doing? And it's amazing the relationships that you will build over time, and these people will start to trust you. And then when you do reach out and invite them, they don't think you're being salesy or icky or just trying to make a quick buck off of them. You've invested time in caring about them as people, not them as points for you. And so I just really wanted to share that with you because I just remember, give them grace. The skepticism, the objections, the reasons that they're convinced that they can't afford to do it. However true or not those things are or not, they're not on you. Do you have anything on that, Elaine?
No, I just, what comes to mind is fling, move on.
Yes.
Because you know how it's helped you, how it's helped, X number of people, you know the testimonies. You can only provide so much information. You can't make the choice for them, and you can't drag them to do the effort and the commitment, because that's ultimately what's got to happen for them to have success, So, ride those no's at just knowing that you're doing your due diligence, you're seeking, you're helping, you're providing information, you're helping people make decisions, whether or not they're the right decisions. You've given them the information and they've got it in there, Sometimes they will go on those meds, and sometimes, that's a route that to some is easier, because insurance is paying for it or whatever. It's a matter of what is most important to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do y'all have any questions so far about any of that or anything you want to say? Anyone? Nope. Okay. All right. I want to start talking a little bit about sharing the coaching opportunity. And we kind of pulled a lot of this stuff from the question we asked you guys a week or so ago about what you struggle most with. And a lot of you said sharing the opportunity, standing strong in your confidence about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and owning it and not being afraid, and that you have a fear of going to that level with people. I used to have the same fear. And about 8 months ago, it kind of just went away. And the reason I believe it went away is because what have I got to lose? If I ask and I share the opportunity with someone and they say no, that's the very worst thing that's going to happen. That's it. Y'all hear no about challenge packs all the time. So put it on the same playing field. Own who you are and what you do because you love it. You're here because you love it. You're not here because you have to be. You're not here because, you got drug into a career that you had no choice over. You're here because it was a choice that you have a passion to fulfill. And standing firm in what you do and owning who you are and what you do as a team of people making a difference in the world, one life at a time. There is nothing to be ashamed of about that. There's nothing to be fearful about sharing that with other people. And it's hard. I get it. I know it is. But when you can get yourself to just throw caution to the wind, you will be so surprised at the people that you prejudge and you think, I'm going to ask her, but she's never going to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those people, well, yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. And you're kind of like, well, if I had never asked, somebody else would have asked her, or she would have never done this. I mean, I'm more afraid of not asking and somebody else asking than I am of hearing that no, or them thinking what I do is stupid. I could give two rats if they think what I do is stupid. I really don't care. And you have to get to that point where you just flat don't care what people think. You've got to believe in what you're doing wholeheartedly, put your passion behind it and your why behind it, and just go for it without any hesitation. You know, when we get challengers, and y'all know this, you get challengers for a challenge group, and that is where that's your sweet spot, okay? Those are the people that you take care of. You help them have success. You help them reach goals and get excited about Shakeology and the program that they're on. And those are people who are easy to reach out to and say, you are doing what I am doing. Y'all, when I first started, there were months and months and months of challenge groups that I had, and I never asked a single challenger about becoming a coach, no matter what kind of potential they showed. Complete idiot. That was so stupid of me, but I was afraid to go that extra step with them. But you have to realize when you've got those people in a group that they are getting to know who you are, they are having success, they are liking the community and the accountability, that is your prime opportunity to invite them to a sneak peek or a coach webinar, to say, look, I see potential in you. You talk them up about what you're seeing in them that they do so well, and you say, you can do this too. On whatever level you want, you have the potential to do this. And so I want you to realize, I mean, I think you all know that, but that is where you need to capitalize, because those people have already invested their time and belief in you as their coach to help them personally. So why would they not also feel the same way about you being their coach on their team, helping them build a business for themselves to live a better life while they help other people do the same thing that you have helped them do? So I think that that is something that you really have to capitalize and keep your long-term vision in mind. Where do you want this to be in a year, 2 years? You have to continually chisel away at the little opportunities that come your way and the people that come to your mind that you think, you know, she'd be really good. I'm really afraid to ask her because I don't want her to just think, you know, why are you asking me this? But you know what? Oh, okay, so she thinks that. So what? You're going to plant a bug in her head to think about it. You're going to plant that seed. And she might not say no. I mean, she might not say yes right then, but she could very well come back 2, 3, 6, 9 months later and go, okay, I've watched you. I'm seeing what's happening here. I see what you're doing. I want to do this too. But you have to plant those seeds and you have to ask the question, and you cannot let fear be the reason that you don't.
How many of you have ran a challenge group or even co-led and have seen the client or the challenger step into that category where you can see they have potential versus, you know, where they start? And if you have and you've asked them, what have you experienced? I'd love to hear like how you guys have experienced, or if you have gotten uncomfortable and asked them. Angela, were you raising your hand?
I just recently asked a fairly new challenger, and she's got 2 jobs already. One of them is real estate. The other one, I think, is a phlebotomist. But she's really busy, and she appreciated my asking. And but she said no. I had another one a while back, Jenna Christie, who is ideal, and out of the blue, she will put stuff in our kind of follow-on challenge groups. You know, just like, hey, what's one positive thing today? Like, she is just like made for it. But I think her and her husband are transitioning potentially out of the Air Force. So she hasn't bit off, and she said she needed to be in her own, she didn't feel like she was where she needed to be in her journey to be able to do something like that. And I tried to explain that it's not a matter of you being exactly where you want to be and having met that goal. It's a matter of, you know, sharing that journey with other people. Mm-hmm. And then another one, Dion, she is, I've asked her, and I still think that she is ideal for it, but she just recently, let's see, she's been here a year. She's in my town. I've known her for years through the Air Force, and she just moved here about a year ago from Italy, and she is now teaching. And so with that teaching job, which is new this year, she's finding it hard to find enough time along with the kids. So it's not that I'm counting any of them out.
Good, you planted the seeds.
Yeah.
Well, and like a couple of them, one of them's a discount, like Dion's a discount coach for her. So she's on, you know, she's gone that far. And
I can't get Janice to do it because she doesn't want, her dog is on dialysis. So she won't hold on to a monthly commitment right now. Mm-hmm. So, and then there's a fairly recent challenger. She's doing her second round of 21-day fix, and she's ideal for it. And I'm going to get back with her next week. That's what I was just looking at my papers. Get back with her next week about possibly signing up as a coach, but even if it is just a discount coach, because I think she wants to continue Shakeology, and I think she wants to do extreme. So I'm going to try to get her to look at it long term.
Mm-hmm. This is a good time of the year with Christmas approaching to put out there, you know, because we talk about the get 3 yours free kind of idea, but to put out there who needs $300 in cash for Christmas, you know, or $500 for that matter. I mean, if you run the numbers of how they can turn around challenge packs and have some good cash, that's another angle. But I brought that up because our challenge groups and both of our teams are moving back into the traditional 30-day. I don't know if you know that, Joy, but Katie and I talked about it. That is our harvesting. You know, I mean, that's where we see people rise to the occasion of stepping into shoes like we're filling. And I know for myself, I have 2 people in mind that one always says, well, I don't want to sell anything. And I posed back to her. I said, did I sell to you? You know, now she's on her, did great results with Insanity. Now she's on, well, then she got Max 30. Now she's on Fix Extreme and loves it. And, you know, I keep putting it back to her. Did I sell you? You know, did I force something on you? Because when I hear sale, I think of cars and I think of, you know, that kind of stuff, or walking in an appliance store. Mm-hmm. We are not putting something before them that is, I mean, it's something that will change their life. And she's a perfect example. She's hooked on Beachbody programs. But it's interesting how much effort it takes to change somebody's mindset of that 4-letter word, sale. And I think Katie and I had a conversation with her girlfriend Sherry earlier this week, and it was the same thing. I can't sell. I would never want to sell. Well, that's good. I don't want a salesperson. Mm-hmm. So almost in the conversation, realigning that broken record in their head, you know, I'd hate to think they were strong-armed into this 3-time commitment of doing a challenge group because they were sold. 9 times out of 10, that's not the case, right?
Right.
But in their mind, it's almost like retraining something. And then, you know, that one particular gal I'll see on her Facebook, you know, sharing about her workout of the day, and then she's got 10 people commenting. I'm like, she's doing what I do, but she's not selling, she's sharing. And it's just constantly retraining the way things are stated, you know? So I point back to our challenge groups. That's the That's the harvesting. That's where we're cultivating. That's where we're changing minds, helping them embrace a lifestyle. And by entering into this community that we call the coaching community, it takes on another aspect of accountability. Katie, would you attest to that? I mean, I think you're a textbook. You came on, you bought from an infomercial, you had goals, you came on, and then you converted to, I think, discount at first, maybe you thought, and then jumped right in.
I figured, why not? Like, what am I going to lose? Nothing. I'm going to save the $15 or $20 or whatever. And
right. Did this aspect of you being on board, and converting it right into a business builder, has that helped you stay closer to your fitness goals as well?
Absolutely. I think so, because I don't feel that my business is going to grow if I stay the same, especially since I'm not where I want to be in the end. And I don't even know where that is yet. I figure that I'll figure it out when I get there. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what a certain goal weight feels like. I've never been physically fit. I've never been, a lot of those things. And so for me, I just figured that it's not, that I'm not going to be a good example for other challengers or for other people, and that there's no way that business-wise that this is going to go anywhere if I'm not just not working the business, but not keeping up on my end of the deal. We're going to do it together. That's kind of my pitch to people, and I'm sincere about it. I'm still working on myself, and I am trying to invite people to do that with me, not, you do it and I'll watch you. Like that's not what I'm about. And
I encourage you guys to really start talking much more personalized in those groups, so that they hear that process when they were a challenge, or when you were a challenger, and how that progress or that process began. Because I think the more they hear your journey in it, and Angela, I think of the one gal that you said didn't feel like she's far enough into, along her journey. Through that 30 days commitment in the challenge group, they can hear so much from you as the leader, and why you, once you really gulped down the Kool-Aid, why you came on board to do what your coach was doing, and how you have impacted X number of lives.
Well, and that's such a common answer when it comes to asking about the coaching opportunity, and people saying, well, I'm not where I need to be. Like, I asked a lady today who's been a customer of mine since last July, a year ago. And I'm like, you need to become a coach because you'll save money. You're staying on Shakeology. And she's like, well, I can't coach though. Like, I don't want to coach because I got to lose a whole nother 5 before I coach. And I'm like, no, you actually don't. And I told her how much more relatable we are when we're working on ourselves too. I mean, people don't want this perfect example that they have to strive to be like. They want to walk in the trenches with you. Mm-hmm. They want you to be down and dirty, sweating your butt off with them, just like, and having your own struggles and frustrations. I mean, I share all the time that I can't keep my hand out of the M&M jar. I mean, that's true. Like, I have a struggle with that stupid M&M jar. But I share that with my challengers because I'm real. And I have struggles, and things aren't easy all the time. And I don't always feel my best. And I don't always, do everything the way that I should, clean eating wise. And so you have to really be able to hone in on that when people give you that. It may not change their mind at that moment, but it is going to make them realize that perfection is not what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's about paying it forward and helping other people be able to start their journey and walk with you along it. So I think that's a huge point to really think about.
Mm-hmm. What else did we?
Let's see. I'm trying to think if that's pretty much what we were going to talk about. I'll leave you with, I'll say one other thing just about fear. You can retreat to your fear, or you can decide to conquer your fear. And I guarantee you And I know all of us have conquered a fear at one point or another in our life, whether it's about this business or when we were kids and we were afraid to ride our bike for the first time and we finally figured out how to do it and we conquered that fear, right? Conquering a fear is amazing. It feels amazing. It builds you up. It makes you see that by taking that step, whatever it is, whether it's inviting or sharing your opportunity with people, you're not going to combust. You're not going to, like, your life is not over if they don't like what you said or if they say no. Like, you're going to survive through it. And what you can come out on the other side with, because you asked, benefit far outweighs the fear of not opening your mouth because you're afraid of what might happen. You know, Elaine and I, first of all, I'm so proud of what I'm seeing in this group, your commitment, your consistency of posting and sharing and showing up every day. Even on the days when it is frustrating and it is hard, we want this for each and every one of you so badly. And you have to want it that bad too. And I believe all of you do. And obviously, we can't do it for you. You can't do it for each other. You have to do it yourself. And you're all on your own timeline and your own journey. And if I can give you biggest piece of advice I can give you, and my team has heard this before, stop paying so much attention to other coaches. Like, unfollow them. And I'm saying that with sincere meaning. The minute you stop looking at what everybody else is doing, and put your blinders on, and you say, I'm going to be Christy, and I don't care what anybody else is doing. This is what I want to say. This is how I want to say it, and I'm going for it. Well, I believe that's when the magic happens. Come into your own without trying to emulate somebody else. People see you, who you are, and that's the people you want to find you. You don't want people to find you who want to work with Melanie Mitro and you write something similar to what she wrote. They're not looking for you. They're looking for her, and that's what they're going to be drawn to. You got to be you, truthfully, wholeheartedly, unapologetically. And so, I will tell you, there's a couple coaches I pay attention to only because they're so real and I just like seeing what they do. I used to follow 10, 15 coaches. I don't pay attention to them anymore at all. I don't care what they're doing. They're not in my shoes. They're not walking my walk, and they're not building my team. I'm doing that. I'm building my business, not them. And so that is, I heard Amy Silverman's the one that said that. Elaine and I both heard it, the same training. I mean, that was such a piece of gold to me. I needed to hear that. And I own that now. And if that will help you, I wanted you to hear it. It was a life changer for me to just own who I am and forget about everybody else.
And I think something key that came out of that training with Amy Silverman was she said once she had that moment and she realized, and stopped and looked the other way and started going back to who she was, she took off. And she said that was the turning point for her.
Absolutely. And I believe that, why would it not be true? Mm-hmm. When you're finally just being you, and the realness is going to come out because you're being you. You're not trying to be you with a little bit of Megan Ewaldson or a little bit of Melanie Mitro or a little bit of whoever in. You are being you. And people see that realness. And that is what attracts them. And so comparing it's easy to do. It's a horrible trap to fall in. And I urge all of you, I challenge all of you to get out of that game. Don't play the game anymore. Don't compare. Don't. You're better than that. You're worth more than that. And it's going to steal your joy. It's going to steal you really coming out of your shell and being who you are, because you get so overwhelmed and bogged down by the success you're seeing around you or the things that other people are doing, that you're stifled, you're stagnant, you're like frozen in time. You can't move forward. You've got to be you and own your own story and your own journey and not let any of the other stuff factor in. Mm-hmm. So that's all I have.
Finish your week strong, you guys. Tomorrow's the end of the week, but we're still at the beginning of October.
Yes.
That's what you got to remember. Still in the early stages of October. Okay. I like what Carl said on the call the other morning about, 12 or 13 pounds before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That can definitely be had. So be going at this last, 2.5 months or so, mm-hmm. offering people hope. Let's be hope deliverers. That's what came out of that Jimmy Hayes Nelson call the other day that Melissa posted. Like, that's what I want to be. I want to be a hope deliverer. And that can be in regards to their health, fitness, and a financial freedom opportunity.
Absolutely.
So I encourage you to do the same. Put on your hope delivery, uniform and go grab people that need what you have to offer.
Absolutely. Okay, before y'all go, let's take a picture real quick. So I'm giving everybody notice so no one's looking down or looking weird or whatever.
Get the adorable kids in those pictures.
Yeah, seriously. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, y'all, thank you so much for your time. Y'all have a blessed evening and a wonderful weekend, and we will chat with y'all soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.